So hello ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be installing Python into our own systems without getting into any hurdles. So to get started, firstly you need to have Chrome installed on your system. So without wasting any time, let's just get started into this. So all you have to do is open up your Chrome browser and then just type. So when you type Python on your system, you'd land up on the first link that would be python.org, or if you would like to directly type it down, you can type down https and then python.org. This is the basic interpreter and a basic IDE. Next one that you would preferably go, so I'll be opening up another one. This is the one that I want you to download, because this is the end. I mean, nowadays I guess most of the production systems, they all are using this specific Anaconda thing. I hardly find people who are using Python. So as soon as you type Anaconda, you'll be directly to this, an individual edition, and you know this is Anaconda. It's like the basic thing for every, either you're a jump starter or either you're a data scientist, you would practically install this. So let's go into this, and you would practically, so without getting into any, first let's just get this downloaded. And so whenever the moment you click on that, you'll be landing up to individual edition. You'll be having your data science toolkit, and the moment you have to just click on install and click on download, and then they'll land you up into 3 installers. So this depends, like if you the one you're watching, if you're a Linux user, you would pretty much go with the Linux distribution that is with a 64-bit or any installer would you like. If you're a Mac user, you could pretty much go with a 64-bit one or the command line installer. And like personally me, I'm running on a Windows 10 machine, so I would pretty much choose a 64-bit system. By the way, before you install this, you need to know what system are you in. That is the most important thing. So to know that, let me just give you this advice. Just find this PC icon, or if you don't find it on your desktop, all you have to do is type it on in the search button. So for that, let me just do it. So the moment you hit here, all you have to do is right click this and go to properties. You could do that here also. The moment you go into the properties, you will have your RAM, your processor, and then you will have your system type. So the system type is basically the operating system that you're using. For me, it is a 64-bit operating system, so I will basically be happy with the 64-bit one. But if you are from a 32-bit system, no problem at all. I mean, they already have this package for you for 32-bit, so you can even install that, although I generally would do that. So depending on which system you have, either it's a 64-bit or a 32-bit one, you can choose any one of that. So I'll be choosing down a 64-bit one, and as soon as you click, either you'll have a folder popping up to you where it will be downloading it. All you have to do is download this, and I actually have it because I have downloaded it. I've even installed it, though I still go through the installation steps. So download directory, you can pretty much find it here. So I'll just close this, and the moment you download this, you will have to go to the directory that it has downloaded it. For me, it is my downloads. So I go to my downloads and I have to just double click on it, and then the computer might ask you for a specific permission, whether you want to run it or not. So maybe you have to run it, or you're not getting it. So right now, this is the most important thing. Most of us, we end up clicking up next, and just installing it by a brute force method of just spontaneously clicking on next. This is a very dangerous thing. If you're trying to do this here, we have to install it according to our own preferences. If you try to click on next, it's still going to get installed to your system, but then the installation would happen according to what is recommended by the Anaconda. So whatever the distribution wants it, the way it should install, way they intend to install without knowing your system's configuration. So let's get straight onto this. So all you have to do is click on next. If you please don't mind reading this. And then now comes the important part. So the moment you're entering the screen, it's going to ask you for the installation type you want to prefer. You must be pretty much asking me why we have 2 kinds of installation, why not just one installation? Well, Anaconda here, they have 2 things. Okay, one is a system with only an independent user. So if you are the only user in your own system, for example me, I am the only user at my system, and I am the only admin, then the first option would be a very much preferable thing for me. But if you are a user if you are an admin and you have like many guest accounts under you, then you would like to go for all users, because those guest accounts can then access the interpreter. Or what if you just end up installing it for just me, then that's gonna pretty much be towards you for your specific account. So if you have like 8 accounts on your system, which is 8 accounts, only one will be able to access where it has been installed for the first one. For the second one, it would be pretty much having all the systems, all these, not all the systems, all the users would pretty much have access to it, but they would require the admin privileges. For example, if you have set down a password for your system, then they would need that password. So for me, I think just me is enough. Most of us, I think it's just me is enough, because I think anyone owning down a personal computer would use this option. And then all you have to do is click next, and then it's gonna ask you something, right? So here comes an important step. A huge SSD, for example, a 1 terabyte or 500. For example, I have a 500 gigabyte SSD. For me, it shouldn't be a big problem. But if you have something less than 256, I would pretty much recommend you to go with your 1 terabyte hard drive. When it comes to your system, which has 1 terabyte of SSD and 1 terabyte of SSD, then you are the king to choose where you want to drop this in. Now the second thing is that you would have another big issue. For example, for me, I would end up having a big error, basically not a problem, an error. It is still going to let me install this without any hurdles. But if you see there, the name, there is a big space here. If I could highlight that on the system, yeah. So this space is something that would cause a very big problem. Why? Because see, Python is very strict with its namespace issues. You just cannot give a space like that. And to avoid that, we have to use an underscore, or maybe a snake casing, or basically a camel casing with underscores if you want to install that. I would pretty much recommend having a single word, and there you can install it. So let me just show you how the errors look like when you just try to install it with, that is something really ridiculous you would like to do it. So the moment we click this, we are greeted with a good error. We are basically greeted with an error that is your destination folder contains 1 or more spaces. So this can cause problems not in installing it, but then after the moment you have to install down any package onto it, it is going to have a big problem. So to avoid this, we have to do something. For me, see, it has just gone next, even though I have skipped the warning. But try to use a single word for a directory that you want to throw it in. Going down next, it's going to ask you 2 questions. This is also another advanced option where you have adding Anaconda 3 to my Python path and variable. So see, by default, the Anaconda distribution, they tick, you're registering Anaconda as my default Python 3.8. Yes, it does. This is recommended only when I don't have any other thing. I don't have any other distribution of Python that would mess with this. Only then I can, throw this down to the environmental path so that my PyCharm and my other IDs could basically access Anaconda. Yeah, your ID has to know the environmental path. And if you go into your environmental path, if I could find, so you have a system environmental variable here. So if you go down to environmental variables, this is how it looks like. So practically you have your Python 3.8.python exe installed here. So what it does is that it the same path that we have, the system path, it basically installs a basic Python 3.8 for Anaconda. So Anaconda also has its own 3.8 version. So what's gonna happen is, if you don't have, for example, you don't have Python on your system and you're brand new, then going with both of the options is fine. But if you already have Python, another source of Python, and if you try to do this, you'll end up having a mismatch, or maybe ending up with big errors. So if you want to go if you have no idea about it, practically go with this installation and then click on install. You will end up installing this. For me, I have already installed it, so I don't want to create more issues to myself, but I'll just show you how it looks after you install it. Yes, so the moment you type in your start command here, or if you are in your Mac, you can pretty much search in the finder. You will have an Anaconda logo there. It says Anaconda Navigator. Half of you are literally surprised that we have a prompt here. Right now, let me just show you how Anaconda looks like when you load it in. Till then, let me just tell you, if you have reached till this step, you are good to go. And to know that we are installing Anaconda because we are going to use the Jupyter Notebook. So the Jupyter Notebook basically is it's if you are a new guy to Python and if you want to start your career into it, Jupyter Notebook is the best thing to go. Now, the moment you have seen the Anaconda Navigator and you are greeted with a thanks for installing and stuff, it's going to ask you for your data. Although it's up to you if you choose to provide them the information they want or if you don't want. You just have to tick on this or off depending on whatever you like. Now, getting down to the things, we have a lot of distributions here. So you have the command prompt for it. You have Jupyter Lab, you have Jupyter Notebook, you have Spider, you have GlueViz, you have Orange, and even the RStudio. So I'm telling you, Anaconda is a pack. It's like a basket full of R, Python, and all of the packages that you would install one by one. Now we are gonna fire up the Jupyter Notebook. So you see, if you have this Jupyter icon here, all you have to do is click on launch. And let me tell you, this thing is very important. So the Jupyter practically it doesn't need internet. It runs on your local system. It has its own server, and so if you don't have internet, you don't have to worry that nothing's gonna run. Everything's gonna run. It is independent of whether you have an internet or not. So now let's see, it has fired up on our Chrome browser, and you see you have the Jupyter logo on the left, you have the logout and the quit button on your right, you have the files running, clusters. I mean, the most important part that we are going to deal with is the files. So basically this, half of you will end up asking me, where are we? Which directory is this? Because they've not mentioned it, but by default it uses your C directory users. So yeah, you must have this question. I didn't install this on my C directory. How did I end up going there? So they have a directory, like a basic default directory, which you can change up later on. But for right now, let me just show you. In my directory, if you can see, you have Conda and you have the IPYNB folder where it basically saves all the checkpoints. And you can see there is an IPYNB file, and the part is that the IPYNB file cannot be opened by a regular Python interpreter. Without the Jupyter Notebook, you cannot access the IPYNB file. So I would practically recommend you that you should have Jupyter, the fact that it is there. So basically you can see, if I try to minimize this and I try to show you it is trying to show you all of the documents that I have here. So it's basically a replica of the directory that I have. So now let's get down to the first program, and all you have to do is click on next, and you have to practically click on Python 3. So Python 3, after the 1990s, it was when Python almost started up, and they started with the Python 2, and I think by 2008 we had Python 3 walking in, and I guess pretty much the last December the Python 2 was discontinued. So right now, whatever Python you're trying to download, make sure it's like Python 3.7 or 3.8 according to the current time. But if you are a user from like future, then you need to make a search on the internet for the stable versions. So we're gonna click on Python 3 and we're gonna end up on this thing. So it tells untitled because yes, we have not titled it anything, or you can click on this and title it anything. For example, I would title it Hello World, because that's something people do. So yeah, Hello World, and we're gonna type a print statement just to check whether Python is running or not. So so to basically execute the statement, you need to press Shift and Enter, or Alt and Enter if you want to only execute that. Although, so next we are going to type a print statement, and that's print X. And the moment you click Shift and Enter, we are done with the first sentence for the Python. So I hope you have learned a bit about installing Python, although this was a very corrupt tutorial, me talking about it, but I guess I've given a lot of information when it comes to downloading Python, especially Anaconda version. So I hope you guys liked it. So guys, if you are new to this channel and if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe this channel. It is going to be a lot of help for me, and especially as in terms of an encouragement. And if you are if you have learned something from this, if you have reinstalled this on the system by following the steps that I gave, please leave a like and share it with your friends, because I mean there are people who are actually struggling to download Python, or maybe who have downloaded Python but then now they're running into errors. So with the next video I'll be covering up things like variables. So see you there. Till then, bye bye.